Mercury in retrograde. Hey y'all, it's your girl Jazz coming into this building right now. I am sitting in for Lloyd Strayhorn tonight, and I am happy to have you with me. We're about to get into some juicy details and do some work, but before we do that, we have to do the forecast for the day. And so today is Monday, August 19th, 2024. The sun is in Leo. There is a full super blue moon in Pisces, I believe it is. Mercury's in retrograde, as you know, with me forgetting to unmute my mic. It is a 7 universal month, a 9 universal week, an 8 universal day. And for those, today is favorable for those who are Capricorn, Aquarius, Libras, and for those who are born on the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th of the month. Before I get into today's program, I'm going to show you who today's sponsors are. And so we start out with me. And so we have my masterclass coming up this Saturday. It is the Art of Interpretation Masterclass. And so we are going to look at the numbers and the cards as we are going to do today and start to break down what these mean when we look at real life events. It is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get the early bird special. After the 21st, it is full price. And so you can go to my site, jazzaphrodite.com. As well, I am offering half off of my 16 session mentorship classes and my 32 session mentorship classes. And so you use the code half now. Again, go to my site, jazzaphrodite.com/services. And of course, don't forget to tune into my first book. It is now available on Audible, Knocking from the Inside, as an audio book. Check that out. And then we had Portia Cooper on a few weeks ago. She has her money mindset makeover workshop coming up on September 7th. This is a steal because not only are you getting the workshop, you are getting 3 individualized lessons on investing. And so join this class because I am going to be taking it to learn how to change your mindset and your limiting beliefs about money and to obtain your financial goals. And as every week, this podcast is sponsored by Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose podcast, using mindset principles to manifest the life that attracts your desires. Everything is about shifting your mindset. Then we have intellectualpower.net. Get your vitamins. And this is free of heavy metals, gluten, wheat, dairy, soy, yeast, sugar, artificial flavors, sweeteners, fillers, preservatives, added colors, and animal byproducts such as gelatin, cholesterol, and collagen. Last week we had Monique from Nicholas Brooklyn on. They are celebrating 50 years in the business. And then we have our brother King Simon, who will be joining us this Wednesday with Lloyd when Lloyd returns. And he has his ancestral tribute to Baba Dick Gregory on Sunday, October 13th, 2024. So, y'all, before we get into today's lesson, I just wanted to preface what we're going to do today. We're going to go into the master numbers, but we're looking at people who have master numbers as their names. And so a lot of people are excited about having master number placements. And I will say, to whom much is given, much is required. I always tell people, be mindful of what you want and what you wish for. Master number placements are very, very powerful, and they require you to do a lot of work. They require you to endure a lot of hardships. They require you to endure a lot of trials and tribulations before you reach your destination. And you are a way shower. And so these videos that I'm going to show you and these breakdowns that I'm going to do are on 4 specific people who I just crossed my path on social media, looking at these videos. And I said, let me see what their names are. Turns out they were all master numbers. And I said, I have to do a lesson on this because this is a powerful lesson to have. And so about a month ago, I went on to Instagram and I made a video about people emailing and sending me text messages with just, hey, hi, greetings, and no names after it. And I was like, if you're going to email me or you're going to text me, put hi, Jacquie, hi, Jazz, even hi, Jay, but you're going to address me by something because my name is powerful. The name is your destiny. It is your reason for being. It is what you are here to share with the world. It is your expression. Your birthday number are the gifts that you brought into this life. It is your arsenal of tools that you can use to fulfill your destiny and also to fulfill your life path. Your life path is what you are learning over the full course of your life. And many of us don't attain the full potential of our life path until we are about 82. And so you have to think about the life path. Many of us identify with our life path number as, oh, I'm in a life path 11. As the Wicked pointed out earlier, I am going to talk about that. But life path means that you are working to become an 11, working to be in that 11 energy. It does not mean that you are there yet. And so the video that I'm about to show is of a person who has underscored my point about calling me by my name. As a matter of fact, if you send me a text that does not have my name in it, I'm not going to respond, because we have to get back to addressing people by our names. We are activating their purpose. And so I wanted to bring this to y'all attention because I thought that this video was so powerful.
You insult me, DJ Khaled, man. How are you really? Cut out the baby. Take out the baby picture. Boy, that
Yes, Rasta.
Wow, magnifying glasses, see that?
You know, red Rasta. Sure, deal it. Redneck Rasta. Yes.
Yeah. Cut out here. You insult me, DJ Khaled.
The situation there with Khaled go viral. We learned that it was a business issue. You know, we quickly learned afterwards. So I want to ask you, how far along is that business issue from being resolved?
Honestly, there's no business issue with burning the plaque with Khaled. I haven't been in the realm of like searching out any business issue. The whole principle about it was that I can't see my name. With this miniature font, I can't see my name, and it was my name that you love so much that brought you to that stage. So I can't see my name. My name represents Jamaica. It's just that it's spelled Sizzla. It's still Jamaica. Sizzla is still Jamaica. Jamaica is Sizzla. So why is it your name so big and I can't see my name? I'm going to have a problem with my people. My people are going to say it was that name, the little name that got you the big name. So where is that little name? Because you see that little name? It's that same little name.
Seriously?
The visa
So
just
your
the other
name
day.
was actually on the plaque.
I'm only my name. The only thing I have is my name.
See what the man said? I'm only my name. The only thing I have is my name. And so let me get back to the video because we have to see who this noble man is. And so Sizzla is the artist. And I want y'all to get your pens and papers out. We're going to use the Chaldean alphabet. The Chaldean alphabet is the oldest tried and true numerology alphabet. It is part of the Babylonian society. They only use numbers 1 through 8 because they view the number 9 as a sacred number. It doesn't mean that your name won't add up to a 9. Your name can add up to a 9, but it does not use the 9 as part of their alphabet. This alphabet is very different than the Pythagorean alphabet. And so start doing your tabulations to see what Sizzla is with the Chaldean alphabet. And while y'all do that, I want to bring up, thank you, Shells, for buying my book on Audible. I am so grateful. I'm so happy that you loved it. I had some help with that. I'll tell you who helped me with that when we get to the last. Shout out to Stephen Williams and your beautiful wife. Thank you so much for supporting us each week. Hey, Kai Love. Thank you so much for supporting each week. And Lloyd, to my girl Melanated Brown, you are here with us no matter what the occasion, who the guest is. Much love to you all. Energy stylist Ebony. Hey, Ev. Another workshop coming up soon. And so let's see what you guys got. So Sizzla, his expression number, and that's what we call it in the Chaldean alphabet, the expression number, because this is how you express yourself. This is the gift that you are sharing with the world. Sizzla, when we use the Chaldean alphabet, is a 22-4. 22-4 is the master builder. And so what this name means is that this person can tap directly into source. And when I say source, master numbers are tapping into the cosmos. You have a direct channel to the cosmos, and they are giving you dreams, ideas, insights, inspirations, visions to build something that'll benefit humankind on a grander scale. And so people with the 22-4 are people who are capable of starting a school from scratch, starting a homeless shelter from scratch, starting a healing center from scratch, building it from the ground up, because 4 is also the number of creating the foundation. It doesn't start out being the foundation, because 4 is also the number of mental illness and instability. 4s are unstable until you do the work and put in the effort to make it stable. And so that 22-4 is the person who is tapped into source, tapped into the cosmos to bring something to life that is tangible. This person can also be a singer, a movie director, a writer, anybody who brings something that's tangible into the world that other people can live off of and some people can benefit from, fruit, nutrition that they can feed on. And so the 22-4 expression is big. Sizzla understood the assignment. He also understood his power. Even if he didn't know that his name was a 22-4, he said, I can't see my name. And my name was what drew you to me, what attracted you to me, what wanted you to put me on the track to begin with, so that you can get this plaque. So you need to make my name bigger. You need to revere my name, and you need to put some respect on it. You know what I'm saying? You need to make sure that you heed the master number energy. So powerful. Now, on a soul level, Sizzla is a 2. And so on a soul level, your soul urge, as it's called, is what you are on the inside. If people could look in your heart and see who you really are on the inside or what your passions are, they'll see your soul number. And as a 2 soul, he's all about peace, mediation, nurturing, loving, having a very peaceful environment, everybody getting along. And then his personality is a 20. And so the 20 personality is also a 2 when it's reduced. But when you deal with the Chaldean alphabet, the compound numbers, which are the 2 numbers here, have definitions as well. And so 20, when we look at tarot for the Rider-Waite Coleman deck, is similar to the judgment card. And when you look at the judgment card, you see an angel in the sky and a family that's revering her up, like looking up to her for guidance. And that's what 20 is. 20 is somebody who has a call to something greater than our individual selves, calling you to a cause, something that the world needs to take heed of and make improvements and change. And so definitely Sizzla does that with his music. His music is conscious. He has conscious reggae. And so while he may talk about love and all of those things, he definitely speaks about love of humankind, love for your fellow man, love for the world, love for humanity. And so that is the Sizzla. All right. And so I want y'all to jump in the chat with your questions. And so Zandra Moss, the book that is on Audible is my book, Knocking from the Inside, which I will share with you again later. All right. So now, before I get to this next person is a social media influencer, and he is extremely powerful. I think he knows it as well. These first 2 that I have selected stand in their strength with their master numbers. They stand in their strength and they are all about their business, all about their business. And he just said so many things that I was like, oof, I got to find out what his name is. And so we're going to look at these videos and see what he is. This video is about 3 minutes long. It's not too long, but I want you to pay attention to some of the words that he uses to describe himself as he understands his power and his strength with his master number. So no, this is not his birth name. Sizzla is the name that he uses for his performance name. And so that's why we're using the Chaldean alphabet. If it were his birth name, we would be using the Pythagorean alphabet. But the Chaldean alphabet is accurate using the birth name and the current name because it's the most ancient alphabet. It's the most accurate because it's been around the longest. And so that is the alphabet that we would do for current names.
Have my first special guest, none other than the most anticipated, eloquent. I can't think of no words for you. Like, goddamn, I don't even know.
You over here making me nervous, bigging me up.
Okay, sorry, I'm calm now.
And I don't get nervous.
I'm sorry. Okay, no, seriously though.
Thank you.
We have none other than Jacquii Leveine, aka Funky Dineva Ross.
The boss.
The boss.
Well, as a corporate accountant, Quentin couldn't say these things without getting in trouble, but Funky Dineva could. And back during that time, you had to be invited to partnership with YouTube. I got this email from YouTube one day and they were like, you know, your video's getting all these views, yada, 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 sign up for this. I thought it was some bull crap. Again, 13 years ago, the word social media influencer did not exist. The word YouTuber didn't exist. The phrase social media didn't even exist when I got started. So I had no blueprint for what this was. Upload the videos. I fill out the form one day. They sent it a second time. I fill it out. The first month I made like $80. And I was like, okay, this is like
It's
gas
lunch,
money,
right?
it's lunch money. Again, there's no framework for an influencer.
No.
The second month I made like $113.
Okay. Now wait, are you doing it every day still? Or
No, at this point I'm just doing it haphazardly, just whenever.
And do you have the name Funky Dineva?
Yes. No, I had the name Funky Dineva. And literally people ask, how'd you get that name? I don't know. I just was playing in the phone and I was like, because I'm Funky Dineva, honey. I just don't know where the hell this shit came from. And honestly and truthfully, to speak to that, a lot of people get surprised when they realize that I don't edit and I do all of my videos in one take. There is something divine that happens when I turn the camera on, Casey.
Sure.
There is a light that comes down out of the sky. It comes through my brain and out my mouth. And real talk, a lot of people may not believe me when I say this, but oftentimes when I turn that camera off and I get up and go on about my daily life, I have no idea what I said.
I can see that. You
I
sometimes
have
you black out.
no idea what was said on that video.
Until somebody texts you some hate mail.
Or until I go back and look through the comments and people are like, oh, that part was so funny. And I'd be like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Like something literally takes over me when the red light on that camera goes on. Yeah, you've been doing this long enough that you can, and you're smart enough. Now, that's one thing I never doubted. I'm smart enough to pivot this into something else. You know, but now social media is an emerging market. The only thing that worries me now in the social media space is, and I tell people this all the time, we are one technology shift from being wiped out. That worries me.
Okay.
You know, but then you just have to be smart. And that's where the financial education comes in. You have to diversify your income. And I always tell people, you know, don't act like you was always making this type of money. So don't live on all of it. You know what I'm saying? I put more of it away than I do spend. So a bitch could sustain for some time if it did go away. But that's what worries me now.
All right. So that's why this class that I was just talking about with Portia Cooper coming up on September 7th is so important, because you got to make sure that you can diversify your income. Now, that personality, his name is Funky Dineva. Funky Dineva. And I want you to get your pens and your pads out and let me know with the Chaldean alphabet what Funky Dineva comes out to be. But what he did say is he doesn't know where the name came from. He was just on the camera and he just said, my name is Funky Dineva. Like he got hit with the spirit. Spirit came straight through him and just started channeling through his body. He also said that he's not aware of what he says when he's on live. He just speaks. Something comes to him. A divine force enters his body and he just speaks. He does not have to edit. And so when he's done, he doesn't remember what he said. And the reason why he doesn't remember what he said is because he is channeling the cosmos. Okay? This master number energy is serious. And so I'm giving y'all some time, but for the sake of time, I got to continue. So Funky Dineva, Funky is a 22-4. Dineva is a 22-4, which gives him a 44-8 expression. And so 22-4 we spoke about is a master builder, right? They receive the information from source, from spirit, from the cosmos. They build something tangible that we all can be a part of. 44-8 is the master healer, the master therapist. This is a person who can use words, music, movies, touch, medicine, herbs, or just be a listening ear counselor to heal others. 44-8 is the number of somebody who amasses their money. The 8 vibration is all about money, recognition, hard work, discipline, putting that effort in, being that CEO, that boss. He started out the video when they said Funky Dineva Ross. He said the boss. Exactly. 8 is the executive energy. And so he is fully aware of his energy and the energy that he embodies and that he shares with the world. And so 44-8 is saying that you are providing a healing to the people. And if you watch his lives, he is very healing. He's very entertaining. He's very funny. He's extremely articulate. And he just speaks fluently. Things just fly out of his mouth. You're like, how did you come up with that? It's just so witty and so cleverly done. And so you know that spirit is working through him with this 44-8. I will say with the 44-8, as I mentioned earlier, to whom much is given, much is required. Because you are a master healer, you are susceptible to other people's illnesses. Master healer energy, the 44-8, I know well because my name, Jacquii Leveine, is a 44-8. Have to be very mindful of being around a lot of people because you are a healer, you pick up and draw on people's energies. And so being around a lot of people, depending on what they have, you can get whatever sicknesses are in their body. And so the master healer has to know how to heal him or herself because the master healer is both the cure and the disease. You are inflicted with the disease so that you can learn how to cure it. All right. And so 44-8, I would just say, Funky, when you are out and about, I know you get colds a lot. If you ever see this video, you have to come home and take Epsom salt baths or take a wooden broom, a small wooden broom that you can hold in your hand and just brush your aura. Brush your aura so that anything from other people does not stay on you and does not get into your internal body. Also, the use of crystals, black obsidian. As I was speaking to Ebony, the energy stylist, a few weeks ago, and we were talking about crystals, black obsidian. But because black obsidian is also a black stone that absorbs, you want to put it under running water so that that energy does not stick on the black obsidian as well. So 44-8. Also, he mentioned there was no blueprint. There was no framework for being an influencer 13 years ago. 4 is the number of somebody who systematizes and codifies a process. And so they come into a situation, an organization, in this case, they come into YouTube and they're like, all right, what's going on here? How do I organize this? How do I gather this together? And they create a system, a blueprint, a framework that they can then hand off to other people and say, this is how you do it. And so notice the words that he's using. There was no system, there was no framework. That's what the 4 is doing. The 4 is coming to manage, gather, aggregate all of that information and create a working plan so that it can be used and passed on to new influencers who are coming into this environment. Now, his soul number is a 14-5. So on a soul level, I'm going to talk about the 14. Let's talk about the 5. On a soul level, what does Funky Dineva crave more than anything else on a soul level? Come on, y'all. I see y'all in the chat giving me some beautiful comments. Thank you, Jacquie. But what does the 5 mean? What does he crave on a soul level more than anything else with this 5? Yes, Indigo Key, come through, my New York sister Al. Freedom. He don't want to be tied down. He wants to be free. And you can see that even in this same video. That was the Let's Be Clear podcast. If you want to watch the podcast, but you don't have to know who he is, Renee. You just have to know what the numbers mean. Nobody needs to know who he is. As long as you got the name, you can decode. That's what we're doing. We are breaking down this person that none of us has met using his name. And so freedom is exactly what he wants. He wants freedom. And so he always says the money that he earns is to give him a life of freedom so that he can do and be and go wherever he pleases, whenever he pleases. That's what he wants. Change is also the vibration of the number 5. And so having the ability to be fluid and change and mix and mingle and talk to people from all walks of life and just be, as we say in New York City, mixy, right? That's what he wants. He likes that. 5 wants to exchange ideas, have intellectual conversations. They know people from every end of the earth. 5 is a sociable number. It's also a very restless and flighty number. And so you'll see them shaking their legs, jittering a lot, moving around, like they can't stay still because that 5 energy just wants them to be doing something. You got to be doing something. Restless minds, they may start something and not finish it, right? So that is what he wants, freedom. Now the 14 speaks about karmic debt. There was a question about the 16-7, which I spoke about ad nauseum before, Brandon, but I might speak about it later. The 14-5 karmic debt is about addictions. And so in a past life, he abused his freedom and his overindulgence and was addicted to either drugs, alcohol, sex, food, gambling, all of the above. It could be anything. But with this 14-5, you bring that predilection into this life with you, and you may be addicted to substances, people, whatever the addiction takes form in this life as well. And so the 14 wants you to exercise balance and temperance. It really wants you to show moderation. And moderation is subjective to the human, right? What's moderate for you may not be moderate for me. And so that's really a call, a personal call, but he has to be mindful of having addictions. And he's spoken about that before. And so he has struggled with addiction in the past, but this is something that is his soul number with this funky Dineva. Then his personality number is a 30. And so when the host, I believe her name is Casey, started out, she said that the intelligent, the intellectual, yes, that is the vibration of the 33. That is the number of mental superiority, somebody who supersedes their peers in intellect. And so even as he is a YouTube influencer, the other YouTube influencers can't keep up with him mentally. That's just what it is. 30 is somebody who's extremely brilliant, sees very big picture, very broad ideas. And because he is a master number 44-8, he can bring these ideas to fruition. And it will be very easy for him because he's getting the full blueprint from source, from the cosmos. And so 30 is the number of mental superiority, having the intellect and having the expression, because 3 is the number of speaking your authentic truth. And so you multiply that 3 times 10, that's 3 on steroids, right? And so having that mental superiority to do his job and do it well, and to be known as somebody who is smart. That's what he said. I'm smart enough to pivot with this 5 soul number and change and adapt in the event that YouTube or technology were to take a shift. All right. And so, yes, he has a lot of master numbers. He sure does. 22, 22, 44, 8. Somebody else who had this vibration is Michael Jackson. Michael is 22, Jackson is 22. And we saw how Michael Jackson had the effect on the entire world, being able to heal people with his music, with his dance, with his personality, with his soft demeanor. And so whatever it is that makes you the healer is what you have. When spirit gives you these gifts, they know exactly who they're giving it to. And you are unique in your expression. And so some people may be quirky and funny, other people may be soft and shy, but no matter what it is, it's still healing, because that's the vibration of the 44-8. You're still healing the masses with that energy. All right. Now I'll go to the 16-7. 167 is not a master number. Just for those who are new to numerology, this is a karmic debt number. 167 is the number of in a past life, either having illicit affairs, being a criminal, indulging in things that were dishonest. And so in this lifetime, you have to live honestly. You have to exercise integrity. You have to show forgiveness. That's the only way you're going to come out of this 16-7 debt. Being forgiving and being honest in your business and particularly in your relationships, because spirit does not take kindly to people who damage other people's heart space. We don't value the heart that much on the earthly plane, but spiritual plane, they are all about love. That is the strongest vibration that there is in the world. And so when you damage someone's heart space, break their heart, you are paying for that debt. What does that debt look like? Loss of money, loss of friendships, amassing a great deal of finances and losing it all, getting the dream job that you want and losing it all, getting the relationship that you wanted and the relationship just dissolves out of the blue. And so you will lose everything because spirit wants to strip you down to your bare bones to show you, in the absence of everything that you think you are with these material gains, who are you? It wants to show you that you need to rely not on the physical, not on the material, not on man, but on spirit for your worldly gain. And we're going to talk about that in our next example. But 16-7 is one of the most serious karmic debt numbers there is. And we experience them throughout our lives during different cycles. And so I don't think anybody ever gets away from it, but some people have it harder because it shows up as their name. It could show up as your life path number. It could show up also as your expression, your destiny. All right, so that is the 16-7. Now, the next example is someone who is in the entertainment industry. She still is. And I'm going to play this video. It's about 3 minutes long as well. But I really want us to pay attention to what's happening because this is happening right now. This is a current situation. And she too, of course, has a master number in her name. And I will give some worldly wisdom after we look at the video, just so that we are all clear about the do's and don'ts of just being an artist in the industry.
I went in and met with the CEO because I was connected, I believe, through the attorney and directly through Tyler. The man sat across from me. He said, "Oh, Tata," which is French for auntie, by the way. Tata means auntie, Auntie Burlesque. Oh, I love the name Tata Burlesque. I left him my script. I left him the DVDs starring Fantasia. And yes, the play was $100,000 budget. These Fantasia was my friend doing me a favor. Faith was my friend doing me a favor. It was the first time I had ever directed anything in 2010, before R&B Divas, right? So it was slightly different, but the story, the beginning, the middle, the end. An LGBTQIA club owner owns a club in a city that is being gentrified because of a casino in Vegas. The girl with the red suitcase, all of these elements. So initially, Q, I did not want to be legal. I said to my attorneys, please just send them a letter. Let's handle it quietly. This is another Black woman. I do not want to be out here again for the 11th time fighting with people. And they came back. It was so insulting and dismissive. Katori Hall, listen, sis, I'm going to talk directly to you since we've never really been able to have a conversation. The only way I can really communicate and vent my grievances is through my social media, right? But Katori, let me say this. Sister, if you know that you and I both, because you said this out your own mouth, that's the post that I just posted. You said out your own mouth that you went to the company that produces P-Valley, same company I went to, which is a company that produces P-Valley, and you shared your idea, and then that CEO started sharing ideas with you, and the two of you together started pitching each other story ideas. And I'm saying, yo, sis, my thing was copyrighted 10 years before yours, and I went to this company that produces P-Valley, and I pitched my story, and me and the CEO. And this is the gag. They're not even denying that we sat down and had a conversation. They're saying they don't remember, but they're not saying it never happened. But for some reason, we're still not able to get to a jury. I'm not sitting here saying that I have a slam dunk case. Well, okay, I'm lying. I mean, have you seen the 57 comparisons? Have you seen the facts that I have sat down with the CEO of the company? But the fact is, we deserve a right to a trial. That's all it's about. That's why, you guys, I've been for 4 years now, since 2020. Since 2020, I have been out here in these streets just appealing and advocating for the opportunity to go to trial. Y'all were asking me, well, not asking me, but you see comments like, you just, don't say nothing about it, just lay low and woo, 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 woo. Well, let me tell you something. If I didn't say nothing about it, none of y'all would know that this is happening. Nobody would be able to use this as a cautionary tale moving forward, so the creatives understand what they have to do if they want to get to a trial.
All right. So this is her Instagram page. Let me just read this real quick. Tonight, we just filed another brief in opposition of the legal fees that the judge has ordered me to pay Lionsgate, Stars, and Katori Hall, #P-Valley, for bringing what he calls a frivolous case to his courtroom. There is no feeling like being forced to pay the people who violated your rights. It's horrible. We are currently in appeal, praying for the higher court's reversal, but the judge has still given the defendants the right to move forward to collect, because I never should have filed the lawsuit. The story has this exact same beginning, middle, and end. In addition to meeting and sharing my materials with the CEO of Lionsgate, I've been copyrighted for 20 years and available to watch my story online since 2010. Katori didn't copyright her story until 2017. The judge also threw out my expert's report, which stated without a doubt infringement occurred and cost over $50K, and the defendant never bothered to engage an expert. The only defense creatives have against multi-billion-dollar corporations who bully us out of our properties is the truth. I wanted to share some of the truth and evidence we included, which is all available via public record on Pacer. After 4 years and millions of dollars spent, I deserve a jury trial, and I believe we will get it through this Ninth Circuit appeal. Please pray for with and for us, and swipe left, and I'm sure you'll agree. Thank you all for your positive feedback and encouragement. It means more than you know. I literally feel like I'm standing face to face with the devil and being robbed in broad daylight while the world watches. This case has taught me so much about the judicial system and inspired me to advocate harder for change. All right, y'all. So that was Nikki Gilbert. Nikki Gilbert was the lead singer in the group Brownstone, who was discovered by Michael Jackson, another master number energy. And Nikki Gilbert created a screenplay called The Soul Kittens Cabaret, which she had written in 2004 and copywritten in 2004. She brought it to Lionsgate in 2010, and she left them with her materials. That is the lesson that I want us to talk about before we get into breaking her down. Creatives, we have to stop believing that the people that we're sitting across from in these boardrooms know more than we do. We have to stop believing that the people that we're sitting across in these boardrooms know more than we do. They may know more about the business, but creatively, because you are tapped into source with this master number energy, especially the master numbers, you already have the direct channel to the cosmos. And so they cannot get that vision. That vision was given to you specifically. There was no story about a transgender matriarch happening in 2004. That wasn't even a thing. Gender fluidity wasn't even a word. Non-binary wasn't even a word. Nobody was touting trans as a thing, as a movement. And so for her to even have that idea to bring that to Lionsgate to show, I mean, we had our Medeas, but Medea was still acting under the guise like Medea was really a woman. There was not being called out that Medea was a trans woman. But this show definitely called it out. And there were so many similarities, as she said, 55 similarities that the show has with P-Valley, which is currently on Stars. And she's ordered now to pay Lionsgate $600,000 because they say she shouldn't have taken the case to court. basically saying that she wasted their time, and they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So she now has to find $600,000 because they can start collecting. And so what I'm saying is, and I'm going to give you a real life example, and that's what wisdom is, applying these sciences to real life examples. Bear with me for 5 minutes and I'm going to get to the breakdown. When I was 31 and 32, I signed up to be the principal of a virtual school. I signed up to be a part of the application process, to be the founder of the first virtual school in New York City. I had to create the vision. I had to look at other models that were currently in existence and create my own that had never been done. This project was being funded by Mort Zuckerman, who is the multi-billion-dollar owner of the Daily News. And so for 2 summers, I sat down in the park, grounding myself. And with the help of my Aces Hearts friend, we came up with the idea of having a school that was globally aware. She gave me the broad strokes idea, and then I got down to the granular. I wanted a school that used global mapping software, GPS software, to hone into specific parts of the world, look at the agriculture, look at their commerce, look at their social and political relations, and then revitalize these areas. And then I was going to tie in all of their daily lessons and all of the 5 subjects, math, English, social studies, science, and put it into these project-based learning activities that they were going to do virtually. The school was going to be in an office space. It was going to be designed like how you have the screens in Madison Square Gardens. It was going to be fancy. I created the curriculum layout of how the school was going to, how the students were going to learn, what the projects were going to look like, how I was going to hire staff, how I was going to budget everything, what the daily schedule was. I even created a mock handbook, high school admissions handbook, that had existing high schools in it exactly as the real one, and put my high school in it to show that my high school had a place in that book. And then I handed it off to them in the interview process to say, well, look at me, like I can really do this. Like I'm really capable of doing this. So you should hire me because you should know that I can do this. What I did was I gave them the full blueprint. And my friend did warn me. He's like, Jack, you're giving them way too much detail. They could take your plans and give it to other people. So that year, that was the first year, they shut the project down, lack of funding. The second year, they called me back to interview again. So then I had to start the process from scratch and go again and do everything. So 2 summers, I don't get to chill. And I'm in my 30s. You know, outside is hot in New York. We having a good time back in the early 2000s. It's not what it is post-pandemic. It was bumping back in the day. So now I'm under the park, under a tree, every single day after work, creating these plans. Long story short, they give me the principal's position. I go to meet Mort Zuckerman in his fancy high-rise building in Midtown Manhattan, give him the vision. He loves it. He's like, yes, you're the one. They were not going to give me an assistant principal. I was going to be the only principal, 400 students, 4 teachers. I had to create the curriculum, run the school, be accountable for everything that the other high schools had to be accountable for, and not have all this pressure, not have all this money back behind it. They weren't going to give me an extra hand to assist me on an administrative level. So I turned the position down. You know what they did? They gave my plans to a Caucasian woman. Of course, they didn't put it in a fancy building. They put it in a school that already had a school in it, and she had to walk up 10 flights. But not only did they give her extra support, they gave her a whole other principal, a co-principal. Now, where they do that at? No other school in New York City has 2 principals with a 400 student population. That is a budgetary no-no. But this is what they do. Now, the school is still in existence. It's called the I School, but she's no longer the principal because she was caught up in a cheating scandal with the Regent scores. But it goes to show you, creatives, stop giving these institutions and these big conglomerates your plans because they do not have access to the information that you have. And so now we're going to go back to Nikki to see and break down her name and why it is what it is. So now Nikki Gilbert is a 33-6 expression. 33-6? Thank you, Indigo. 33-6 is the master teacher energy. You are the teacher of teachers. So what this means is you get information from source and you can teach it in a way and relay it in a way that other people will get easily. You love community, you love. You have the Buddhist, that monk energy where people will flock to you. So your family is not just your immediate family, but the family that you create, because people just want your healing energy. 6 is also a number of healing. And so Nikki Gilbert is a phenomenal singer, phenomenal. When you see artists with the 33-6 vibration, you know that they are just gonna rock your world, right? So the 33-6 has the 2 3s in it. That's the artistic numbers as well. And so you know that she has that artistic leaning, that self-expression. She can relate herself. Her voice is soothing. Is 6, ruled by Venus. And so the 33-6 energy, you know the story that she had. Soul Kittens Cabaret was the original. You know that story was hers. You know they stole that story from her. But how are you going to fight a huge conglomerate? Well, she will. She has to. That's what the 33-6 is about. To whom much is given, much is required. People think that master numbers are sexy. You have to fight tooth and nail to prove you are a way shower. You open the way for other people. And that's what she said. I am not going to stop until other people have a way of litigating their cases in court. And to know that her work was copywritten 20 years ago. 20 years ago, her work was copywritten. And that's another thing too. When you copyright your work, make sure that you have the certificate in hand. It is not enough to just say, oh yeah, they have the copyright number at the office. Oh yeah, so I'll just go get that at the United States Congress Copyright Office. Oh, they have that. No, make sure you have that certificate in hand. Make sure it is filed in a place that you can easily access it. Ownership is key. Ownership is key. So now on a soul level, she has an 8 soul number. And so the 8 soul number is exactly why she's doing what she's doing. She's fighting. 8 is the misunderstood CEO. 8s are often very lonely and despondent because people don't understand them. They come off as being very gruff, very lacking emotion, but on the inside, they're very soft and cushy. And so if you know somebody who's born on the 8th, and Nikki Gilbert is born on the 8th, and we'll see that when we look at her cardology spread. But 8 soul means that she will fight tooth and nail to prove something, to prove her worth, to prove a cause, to bring attention to a cause that's greater than hers. She will fight on the world stage. That's what she says. She feels like I'm going toe to toe with the devil in front of the world. That is the energy of the 8. The 8 will fight for the underdog, for people who cannot fight for themselves. They will fall on the sword and sacrifice themselves for other people so that other people won't have to go through what they have gone through. That is an 8 energy. And then on a personality level, she's a 25-7. So she said the only way to fight these large corporations is with what? The truth. 7 is a number of the truth. The truth seeker, the truth speaker, looking for things that are hidden from plain sight, hidden from view, and then showing and teaching people with that energy of the 7. Okay, so 7 is somebody who's tapped into source. So with this 25, is saying that she's very psychic. She has a lot of prophetic dreams. She's also protected from black magic with this 25-7. And so this 25-7 means that she understands things that other people may not understand spiritually. And so with the 7, she's all about the truth. Let me see what y'all saying. I spoke about the 44-8 at nauseum, Jesse Duncan. I don't know if it's going to come back up. Yes, it will in the next example. 11s are going through it. Yes, 11s will go through it because 11 is a number of the wounded healer. And I'm going to talk about that in the next example as well. The wounded healer energy is the number 11. So now let us look at the cards. So Nikki Gilbert, born July 8th, 1970. She is in Cancer 8, so her numbers are the 8, 2, and 7. But we're looking at the cardology spread, and we're going to see what her card is. So to find the card, the formula for finding the card is taking 55 and subtracting the month, but you're doubling the month. So the month is July, so July is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 55 minus the 14 is 41. And then you're subtracting the birthday number. So you're subtracting the 8 from 41 and you're getting 33. And so how do I know what card is with 33? I look at the kings. And this is how you do it when you're not around a chart to see what the cards are. You look at the kings. And so each suit has 13 cards. Ace is the first, king is the last. King is number 13. So all the kings are in multiples of 13. So the king of hearts is 13. So that means the hearts are 1 through 13. The clubs, 14 through 26. The diamonds, 27 through 39. And the spades, 40 to 52. And so when I look at 33, I'm saying 33 is greater than the 26, but it's less than 39. So 33 is somewhere in the diamond suit. So I'm going to subtract this 26 from 33, and that gives me the 7 of diamonds. All right, that's how you find the card. And so let's look at her card here. So the 7 of diamonds, her birth card, this is a semi-fixed card. So it switches places with the 9 of hearts every other year. So this year, she is sitting in her own house, which is Venus, 7 of diamonds. 7 of diamonds is the card of the millionaire. That's the millionaire's card, right? Especially when it's in Venus, because she has the ability to attract that money to you. Venus is how you attract money. It is your possessions, the things that you own. So yes, Indigo, she's standing on business. She want her bread. She's like, run my cash. All right. And so right now, oops, my bad. Right now, she's in her Mercury period. And so Mercury, with the 5 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds is the card of fluctuating finances, money either going up or money going down. And so with Mercury, there are talks of her having to pay, as she said, Lionsgate, Katori Hall, and Stars, the $600,000. And so it's talks of her losing money with this 5 of diamonds. The Mercury period is also synonymous to the first cosmic cycle. When we did the cosmic masterclass, the cosmic cycle, the first one, is a good time to get cases dismissed or postponed when you're in court. It just so happened that this case was dismissed in favor of the opposition and not Nikki Gilbert, but she can circle back with that. This 5 of diamonds is being supported by the 5 of spades, which is a change in lifestyle. And so her lifestyle stands to shift with this loss, with having to pay out this exorbitant amount of money. Now, the challenging karma card is this 10 of hearts right here. And so the 10 of hearts is saying that what's being challenged is her standing in the public eye, her financial success, her family life. You think of the 10 of hearts as the 10 of cups in tarot. When you have the family looking up at all the cups over the rainbow, those 10 cups looking so bright under the sun and under the rainbow, that, stands to be challenged with this 10 of hearts. But she's going to enter into her Venus next week. So I believe Mercury will be coming out of retrograde around this time. And so her Venus card is the Jack of Hearts. And Jack of Hearts is the card of spiritual sacrifice. It means falling on the sword. Yes, Venus, it is the Christ card. Absolutely. So what does it mean? Is she sacrificing herself a lot in the name of love? So it could mean a plethora of things. The Jack of Hearts could be that she's sacrificing herself for the masses so that we don't have to go through what she's going through. The Jack of Hearts could be that she's sacrificed by them having her pay this fee. So this is sort of like a ritual, a sacrifice ritual. It could also be a physical sacrifice. But the Jack of Hearts, which we want to look at it now, as far as my advising to her, if she were to see this, because the Venus is synonymous to the second cosmic cycle, the 2 is all about water. And during the second cosmic cycle, you don't want to do too much. This is not the time to act. If she has a vacation home, she needs to go someplace, vacate her regular home, go to her vacation home to get some space, clear her mind and regroup and plan. With this Jack of Hearts, it needs to manifest as doing offerings to the sea. Money, finances, and wealth comes from the seawater. That is where you have Olokun. That is where you have Ajay, Yemoja, Oshun. That's right, Indigo. She also needs to keep her emotions in check because this is a Venus period. She's very emotional too, that emotional number. So she's going to be talking, divulging too much. She got to stay quiet. This Jack of Hearts means she needs to do her spiritual work. No longer can we get by praying to our pretty white Jesus, right? Our pretty white Jesus that y'all be praying to. They ain't doing nothing for us. We got to start venerating the ancestors, get the ancestors' altars up. Today's a full moon. Lighting the candles, making your intentions known. What do you want to remove in this full moon? Jack of Hearts means stepping up your spiritual game. What are you doing to sacrifice? What are you going to, who are you appeasing to win this case? Also, this is the time for her to gather her knowledge, gather her information, find another ruthless lawyer who can fight toe to toe with these large corporations. Large corporations. If I were Nikki Gilbert, I'd be looking for a hot, flamboyant, gay Jewish lawyer right now. You hear me? Hot and flamboyant, and who is not going to relent. That's what she needs. She needs to regroup and plan how is she going to strike back. She has to make offerings to the sea. She has to venerate her ancestors and whomever else needs veneration, because there's so many other orishas that we don't think of when it comes to doing the work, right? But that's what she needs to do right now. And this is for a 52-day period. And so what I like about the cosmic cycles and the cardology cards, they move in the same cycle. And so you have 52 days with this Jack of Heart energy. You have 52 days in your second cosmic cycle. Now, after that, she's going to be in her Mars. From October 20th, she will be in her Mars cycle. So this is when she strikes. Mars is all about going against your opponents, fighting your adversaries in business, not your business partners, but fighting the opposition. Okay, so this is the time in Mars where she has that 5 of clubs. She's coming through and she's speaking. She's making her case. She's ready to have that conversation. She's ready to have that debate. 5 of clubs is that debating energy, having a shift in mindset, a shift in ideas, being able to articulate, having a different vantage point. Because she did the work sitting down with this Jack of Hearts right here and strategizing, now she has a shift in her vantage point. And this is being supported by the 9 of clubs. So the 9 of clubs is amassing universal knowledge, worldly knowledge, doing the work, amassing a great deal of information, doing the research. But again, she has to be very careful of her emotions with this Queen of Hearts. Remember, the Queen of Hearts, the red cards are the masculine energy. She doesn't want to come off too aggressive. And so Mars already has that aggression added to it. And so you definitely want to temper that, because it'll be off with their heads with that Queen of Hearts. And so you got to play it real cool and real calm and close to the vest. And then if you look at the vertical Mars placement, she has the Queen of Diamonds as her vertical card. And so in cardology, you either spread horizontally, and you also have cards vertically that support, that give you more context. And so with this Queen of Diamonds, she definitely stands to win when she comes back again in this Mars period, because it's being backed with this Jack of Clubs. Jacks, again, spiritual numbers, spiritual initiate numbers, but she's coming back with that Jack of Clubs, that mental creativity, new ideas, new approaches to get her money, to bear off these people who have been stealing from her with this Jack of Diamonds. Jack of Diamonds, I always say, slippery when wet. Very charismatic salespeople, but they are dishonest when it comes to finances. And so she has to be able to know her worth, stand in her queenliness, and notice the Queen of Diamonds court card, right? And she did say she's hoping that the judge overrules it when they go to the 9th Circuit Court. 9 of Clubs is the card of court, right? So this is the energy for her to win this case. So right now, regroup, say little, say less, as we say less. Make your offerings, strategize, and hit them hard when you come back in October. From October 20th, you have 52 days, but say less for now. Let me see what y'all are saying. Thank you, Rosa. I am glad. I think this is good stuff too. Her value is important. Show is important. All of our values are important. 17-8. 17-8 is the number of legacy. So 8 is a number, of course, of money recognition, but 17 is leaving a legacy, something that will live on past your name, past your existence in the world. 17-8 is also somebody who has very sharp and keen executive abilities and can amass a great deal of money. Sizzla is born on the 17th, so he is a 17-8 as well. Y'all are so quiet. I need y'all to come up with some questions, but y'all tuned in, you tapped in. All right, so let's keep it pushing to the last example.
The work I do in our community deserves no accolades, no pats on the backs. In my heart, I am merely doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man from the same community that our youth are struggling in today. The same issues that they face, I faced. And God has blessed me with a mother that never gave up on me and helped to get me through. So the way I look at it, if our youth don't win, I don't win. If I don't come back and bring my gold and my experiences and my knowledge back to the very same community that made me, then what is it all for? So once again, I thank you for the acknowledgement, and I also thank God for the gift of art that I was able to exercise and pour out some of my trauma that I experienced into the arts. Thank you for seeing me just the way I am.
Now, that's right. Hit the like button. Thank you, Indigo. That's right, Tamar. I agree with you. I'm rooting for Nikki Gilbert as well. Melanated Brown, we're going to get into 77 right now, so hold tight. His chart is wild. Mad master numbers. Absolutely, Indigo. Absolutely. So this here is Michael K. Williams. Excuse the sirens in the background. This is New York City. But Michael K. Williams passed away 3 years ago. You may know him from the movie, or the show rather, The Wire. He was Omar in The Wire. And he passed away September 6, 2021. And he means a lot to me because that year I was working with a client on designing a course, and she got a reading from a psychic medium. And the psychic medium told her that she would be working with a woman named Jacquii who would help her develop her course and get her voice out. And she was like, I couldn't understand who this Jacquii was that he was talking about. And then my husband said, aren't you working with a girl named Jacquii, meaning myself? And so I'm like, well, put me in contact with this psychic medium because I want a reading from him. And in preparation for my reading with him, I wrote down in my book, again, tapped into the cosmos, Michael K. Williams has a message for me. Get the reading, and the reader's name is Justin. And he's like, who's this guy coming through? He passed away. They're saying he died of a drug overdose. But he's coming through here. Like he was an actor or a singer or somebody in the public. And I'm like, wow, that's Michael K. Williams. Like, do you know him? I'm like, I don't know him, but we lived in the same neighborhood. I lived in East Flatbush on 37th and Clarendon. He lived in Vanderveer Projects, which was on Brooklyn and Foster. So 3 blocks away, walking distance. And he came through and he said that he will work with me as my spirit guide to assist me in my artistic journey. And whenever I needed help with that, to call upon him. And so my audiobook, with me recording my audiobook, I have his pictures right up on my desk. As I'm speaking to you, he's watching me right now. And I called upon him like, I need you to help me channel these characters and make them convincing, but not over the top. And every night, working through it, starting from scratch, like definitely getting a coaching class in acting, right? And so even though people have passed over, it doesn't mean that they are gone for good. They are still helping us on this physical realm. But prior to him passing, he did say that he wanted to come back to his community to teach young children in his neighborhood, meaning Vanderveer, how to direct movies, how to write screenplays, how to tell our authentic stories. Right before he passed, he went onto the Breakfast Club and he said that. You can watch that interview. And so he means a lot to me. And so I wanted to do him as the last example because once again, this is when master numbers, again, call us to be greater and have a higher responsibility than others. So Michael K. Williams. Oops, let me show the chart. My bad, forgot to switch over. So this is what the chart looks like right here. So I'm going to put the K in because he used that. He specifically said Michael K. Williams. Michael is a 22-4. Williams is a 22-4. And the K in the middle is a 2. So if he were to remove that 2, he would be a 44-8, like Funky Dineva, that master healer energy. But because he put the 2 in, he shifted it to a 46. Now, 1 expression is the energy of the actor. So definitely in his right element as far as the occupation is concerned. 46 is the number of somebody who is psychic, who is an inventor, who stands to lose a lot of money if their goals are too lofty and not grounded. And so when I say goals are too lofty and not grounded, when goals are not kept to the vest, close to the vest, we have to stop sharing our plans and our goals in the public. You got to stop it. There are too many energy vampires. There are too many evil forces right now who are trying to prevent the light workers from doing their job and playing their role on this physical plane. So we have to stop speaking. And so all of the ideas that you have, keep them to yourself until they are actualized. And then you bring them to the forefront like, this is what I'm doing. Check this out. It's already done. They don't need to know about it prior to. Don't share it, but not even with your best friend. Don't even share it with your siblings. Don't share it with family members. Don't share it with anybody. Just do it. Just do it. And so his soul number, he was a 1. And so this is the 10, which is the number of the Wheel of Fortune, which means that it's karmic. So if he does good in the world, he gets good back. If he does bad in the world, that's what he gets in return. The Wheel of Fortune is what you put out, is what you get back. But ultimately, the 10 is a favorable number, meaning that things in the future will turn out positively for you as long as your intentions behind it are great. And then 9, the personality, somebody who loves to be of service to others. The 36 is somebody who is very successful if they use their natural gifts, abilities, and talents in the right way, meaning to uplift, to heal, to nurture others. And 9 is somebody who is the universal giver, who gives of themselves, sometimes to a fault. But 9 is the humanitarian, somebody who is motivational, somebody who is inspirational, somebody who loves the drama, who can dance their tails off. A lot of 9s can dance, and Michael K. Williams was a dancer. That's how he started out, dancing behind Crystal Waters, who is a house singer. And so 9 is that drama personality, acting, having that flair. And he was definitely a phenomenal actor. Phenomenal, right? Yes. 3, 6, 9, which are the 3 artistic numbers. Yes, be blessed. Absolutely. 3, 6, 9 are the artistic numbers. And it's also the Tesla numbers as well. So now he has these numbers in his name, right? Let us look at his life path and his pinnacles. So he's born November 22nd, 1966. So November is 11, 22nd is 22, 1966, when you reduce it, whenever you see a 19, that's a 10, 66 is 12, 10 and 12 is 22. 11, 22, 22, 55 life path. You understand? This was no small fry we talking about right here. This is a man. The 55 life path is the genius, the cosmic genius, point blank period. So not only is he tapped into the cosmos, he's coming with a brilliance that is unsurpassed. Unsurpassed. He can see it, he can visualize it, he can express it, he can act it, he can sell it, he could write it, he could turn it upside down on his axis and then come back again. Like, he can do anything with information and make it sexy. That's what the 55 life path was, which ultimately is a 1. And so being that leader, breaking free from the industry, doing his own thing, being his boss, being his own individual boss, not taking direction from other people. That's what this 55 life path means. Learning how to be a boss by tapping into your cosmic source to get that genius knowledge. And now when we look at his pinnacles, now normally with the pinnacle cycles, if you take class with me, as you should Saturday coming up, August 24th, sign up for the class. I would say to reduce the birth month, the birthday, and the birth year. But because all of his numbers are master numbers, you don't reduce anything. Keep it as it is, because this is so rare. This goes to show you the energy and the strength that this man had in his body. And I'm going to say that, the energy and strength that this man had in his body. And for those who know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. So now, when we add the first pinnacle, you're adding the birth month to the birth day. So he had a 33 lesson. His challenge, we're going to subtract the birth month from the birthday. And there is no positive and negative in pinnacles. You're just subtracting the lower number from the greater number. It doesn't matter the order. And so for the first pinnacle cycle, he has a 33 lesson and a 1 challenge. And this is between the ages of birth and 35. And so what this is saying is that for the first 35 years of his life, he had to learn how to be the master teacher. How do you as a child understand what that even means? To be a master teacher, to have so much energy running through the course, through your veins, running through your body, not even knowing how to interpret the voices that you're hearing, the messages that you're receiving, the downloads that spirit is imparting upon you. How do you interpret that? And so for the first part of his life, he did struggle with addiction. And this is what I was speaking about with the energy stylist, Ebony, when she came on. A lot of our Black men do not realize the power and the strength that they embody. And when they have these master number energies and they hear these voices, they sometimes question their sanity. And they take drugs and self-medicate to calm what they think is the noise, not realizing that you're hearing your higher consciousness speaking to you. And so this 33 lesson is hearing those voices, those visions, and receiving those downloads and being so artistic that you can bring it to fruition, but also teach others and also be a form of self-expression in the artistic world for others to be healed, to learn from, to be soothed from, to be entertained by, right? And so the 11 challenge means that 11 is the wounded healer. And so the wounded healer is somebody who transmutes their wounds and turns them into words of wisdom. The 11 is the number of the visionary, somebody who enlightens others and leads the masses to something greater than themselves. 11s usually express themselves artistically. So they're singers, they're actors, they're painters. Most likely they are on stages performing in front of people, whether that be behind camera or on actual physical stages. Yes, segment. This is why many of them are diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar, etc. Yes, absolutely. And when you take a lot of these chemicals and they alter the mind as well, sometimes they feel that you are bipolar. And when we were talking about on the show when Ebony was on, sometimes you're just in a different dimension, seeing the world for what it really is and responding to it. But you have to have the wisdom to bring that person back. And when we have the crystal healing class, we will do that. And so 3311 challenge was his first pinnacle cycle. Just so right out the gate, he's coming power punching, right? So the second pinnacle cycle, you're adding the birthday number to the birth year. So that's a 44 lesson. And then you're subtracting these two, and that's a 0 challenge. For the 44 lesson, he's learning how to be the master healer, how to soothe people with his words, with his movement, with his dance, with his acting, with his presence, touching people to heal them, soothing them with herbs, not necessarily medicine, but with herbs. Touch hands, healing hands. When you have in the South, they say they lay hands on you. That's the healing. That's the energy of the master healer. But as well, as I mentioned earlier, being susceptible to other people's illnesses and diseases. So having to be mindful of that energy in the body. My dad is 11. He turns to alcohol instead of knowing thyself. Exactly. Men always want to numb. They always want to numb themselves and mute their power, but we got to stop self-medicating. Alcohol is a spirit. And this is something that's very important for master number vibrations to know. When you drink and take drugs, particularly drinking as well, you are opening your vessel up for other entities to come in. And so some people drink to the point where they black out. And when you black out, you're allowing that entity to come into your body and they can wreak havoc on everything, right? They can kill somebody, they can steal something, they can beat somebody down, whatever it is. I know a lot of men, when they get sloppy drunk, they start fights and they just ravage people. They just fight and just beat people up for no reason. And then when they come to, they're like, wow, I didn't even realize that I did that. You were blacked out. An evil spirit, a demon was in your body. We have to stop making the drink and wine casually so sexy. Brunch on a Sunday, we got to stop that. It's become a culture that is just all about the alcohol. And we are muting our powers. So that is the 44 lesson and the 0 challenge. So the 0 challenge doesn't mean that he has no challenges. It means that it's best to identify what your challenges are and how you want to work through them. Otherwise, the universe will throw different things at you to work through. And so it's about being proactive. If I know I have a problem with this 11, as much as I am on a public stage, 11s have a lot of nervous energy because they are empaths. So they pick up other people's energies and feelings and emotions. It hits you in the gut. And so I know I'm going to work on this 11. Even though I don't have it this cycle, I'm going to work on making sure that my gut is fortified with herbs, making sure that I'm drinking my chamomile before I go out on the stage, making sure that I'm doing what it needs to be done, taking my probiotics so I don't even feel that nervous energy in my stomach. Whatever it means to do, whatever you have to do to work on yourself, you do that. But there is always a lesson. There is always steps to take after you recognize what these numbers mean. Now his third pinnacle cycle, 33 lesson, 44 challenge. This is the 77 lesson that Melanator Brown, you asked me about. So the 77 lesson is cosmic consciousness. This is the number of cosmic consciousness. This lesson means that you are hearing directly from your cosmic ancestors. People who have the 77 lessons or even the 77 vibration as their name, should be wearing moldavite. Moldavite is a crystal that connects you to your extraterrestrial ancestors, and they will show themselves to you in your sleep and in your dreams. They will show you too where they exist on this plane as a parallel universe. So right now we see the world as one thing, but there are parallel universes that look exactly like this, and we are different people on those in those universes. And so in another lifetime, in a different universe, I'm already out on stage singing every night. In another universe, I have a family and children. And so same person, but just living out different facets of our lives in parallel universes. And so the 77 is somebody who can tap directly into that cosmic ancestral spirit, extraterrestrials, giving you information, healing you, visiting you in your sleep, possibly abducting you. And so having close contact to what they deem as aliens, right? Because we cannot say that we are the only beings on this planet. Cosmic consciousness is the energy of just love, for the loving vibration and transmuting that energy around the world with the knowledge that there are other beings who are guiding you. Yes, Libyan Tektite. This is a very expensive one to get. I have to get some Libyan Tektite as well, because these two are paired together, Moldavite and Libyan Tektite. Definitely. And now the challenge, again, is an 11. So he has this 11 challenge, wounded healer energy. Got to transmute that energy from wounds to ways that you're going to heal folks. So you know he has suffered a lot in his life. He had a scar on his face. On his 25th birthday, went into a club in Queens and got into a fight and got a scar, a cut across his face, and made that beautiful. Talk about wounds, turning wounds into healing, right? Made that beautiful. The world knows him by his scars. In my dreams, this happened. Yep, mine too. That's why I know it's real. My extraterrestrial ancestors came to visit me. And I will tell y'all, I bought a piece of moldavite. The first time that I bought it, I had it in my bosom and I went to sleep and I was taking off my bra and the crystal was gone. So I'm like, shoot, it must have fallen out. But the shirt that I had on, the pants was really tight. And so for it to fall out, it would have to be somewhere at the bottom of the shirt because the pants was really, really tight. Moldavite disappears on you. And so moldavite will disappear to protect you. And that night that it disappeared is when I had the dream where I saw my extraterrestrial ancestors, big eyes, everything, but the hair was soft and black. And it was just interesting to see. They're very dark-skinned people. It was very interesting to see. And they said that they took the stone to protect me, that I was protected on that realm. And so, yes, they do visit you and they do give you messages in your sleep. Yes, they have taken me on the ship. It was awesome. I'm telling you, it's real. It's real. And the spiritual world is so great once you can make sense of it. Now, the fourth pinnacle cycle, this is where he was when he passed. He was in the first personal year of this. He was in a 33 lesson and 11 challenge. So he was back to being the master teacher, which is why he said he wanted to come back to his neighborhood to teach the children in Vanderveer projects how to do the work that he'd done for the full course of his life, how to do screenplays, how to direct movies, how to find the budgeting for the movies and to tell their own stories. And so, yes, he was supposed to be here. This is not, and I say this is not a man who committed suicide. This is not a man who died prematurely because he took his own life. At this stage of the game, he was very well attuned to his energy to understand what he was working with. Very well attuned to his energy. And so when we look at these numbers, we have to be able to see what is not said, what is not written. We have to be able to tap in. We know what it says, but we also have to know what it's not saying. And so question everything you hear. Question everything you hear and then run to these numbers and see what they say. Now we're going to wrap up with looking at his Cardology chart. So born November 22nd, 1966 and passed September 6th, 2021. And again, I'm doing my formula 55 minus double the birth month. So November times 2 is 11 times 2 is 22. 22 subtracted from 55 is 33. So I'm going to subtract the birthday number, which is 22 again. And I'm going to subtract that. I get the 11. 11 is less than 13. And so I know that's a heart. And that is the Jack of Hearts, right? We were speaking extensively about the Jack of Hearts with Kelly Price. Notice that's a common theme for both of them. And they're both on spread 54 because he was 54 when he passed away. So let me see that. So could he have been on 11 or a level or surpass Terrence Howard? Not in competition, but you know what I mean. This is a good question. We would have to look at Terrence Howard's name to see what vibrations he's working with and also his numbers to see what pinnacle numbers he's working with as well to be able to really make a fair assessment. I wouldn't be able to say that right now. Jack of Hearts, Christ card. Person who sacrificed for the greater good of other people. Right? Allegedly, literally sacrificed, allegedly, right? And so Uranus card, this is where he was when he passed away in his Uranus period. 7 of Hearts. The 7 of Hearts is the card of setting boundaries. It's also the card of betrayals in love. Betrayals. How do you get a Queen of Diamonds, bro? Queen is a 12. Eleven is the Jack. And so the 7 of Hearts is the card of betrayal. Somebody in a relationship with you betraying you and is sitting in the house of Six of Hearts. So a karmic relationship, a past life relationship. So he was in a relationship with somebody from a past life, very karmic. It speaks about dishonesty in a relationship with that Six of Hearts. It could be some jealous or some rivalry going on with that Six of Heart relationship. And it's being challenged by the Four of Clubs. And I have to laugh at that because if you read my first book, Knocking from the Inside, then you would know why I'm laughing at this Four of Clubs. They just always in the mix when there's something going down. But I've met some beautiful Four of Clubs, so that balances it out. Terrence Howard is a Queen of Diamonds. Okay. Now the Seven of Hearts, so betrayal of love, past life relationship. And so what this means to me is that there was a woman in the mix. So I know they reported something about, drug deal gone wrong, but there was a woman in the mix who betrayed him. How do I know it's a woman? Because his vertical Uranus card is the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts is the card of somebody who you look at as the woman of your dreams, the woman that you're in a relationship with. She was definitely a celebrity. She was an obscure celebrity, though. And he went against his better judgment, his intuition. When she called him or whatever happened, she contacted him. But this Seven of Hearts is the card of betrayal. So again, don't believe everything that you hear and almost none of what you see, right? And so Seven of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. So my folks, this is how we break down these numbers. And this is my boy as we wrap this up. But just wanted to say on the outro, this Saturday, come to the Art of Interpretation Masterclass. It's from 11 to 4 p.m. And you're like, yo, Jack, why is it so long? Because these classes fly. When I make it from 11 to 3, the time flies by so quickly. We're like, damn, we just started scratching the surface. We really didn't get into everything. And so now I want us to have some more time and still have enough time to enjoy the afternoon. And so sign up, jazzaphrodite.com. My website has been scrolling for the entire show. So sign up for sure. Get the early bird special. $98 is the early bird special. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen. And so jazzaphrodite.com for my services as well. 50% off for the mentoring packages. So 50% off for the 16 session and the 32 session. Use the code half off now. Will I have a beginner's class? Sure will have a beginner's class. And I wanted to show you all something too as well before I go through the ending. Last time I was on the show, I brought Amina Aladipo on, and we were talking about her Iyami Oracle deck, and it is ready, and it is here, and it is 52 cards, the Iyami Oracle deck. And so this is, there we go, the book. This white is reflecting off the light, but I just want to pull a card for us because I will do this in the class as well. I use these Iyami Oracle deck card. It is the card of the triple goddess energy. That is the Ajay Dudu, Ajay Pupa, Ajay Fun Fun. 3 triple goddess energy and the female Orishas. And so just for us to get the energy of this collective, so many fell out, but I will tell you what fell on the floor. You can't pick them up now, but first one is Jagun, and this is one of the new cards. The Protector, Bravery, the presence of the divine masculine, an ambitious and action-oriented person. So it could be that Michael K. Williams came into the room when I was reading him. He's like, I'm here, sis, I'm here. So the presence of the divine masculine. As well, we have the card of Yemoja. The divine feminine is in the room as well. Protection from the divine feminine. So we have protection from both the masculine and the feminine, which is what we need right now. The next card is Odidi Ray, which is the card of the white owl. And Odidi Ray is white owl. Her crown was stolen. So she didn't recognize her power and the strength that she had because people stole her crown. And so she was able to retrieve her crown and put it on and receive the recognition that is rightfully hers. And so that is the energy right here as well. And then we have Ajua, which is the energy of taking things slowly, organizing things one bit at a time so we're not overwhelmed. And so with this information, I know I gave you a lot of information tonight, but take it one step at a time so that you're not overwhelmed. The learning game never ends. It never ends. It's a continuous journey. So I will stop sharing, y'all. And before I go, I just wanted to remind you, hop into my class this Saturday. Early bird special, jazzaphrodite.com. Also get the mentorship packages. This is 50% off, code half off now. Like that is a steal. Also pick up my book on Audible, Knocking from the Inside. Sign up for Portia's class, Money Mindset Makeover Workshop, September 7th. And then you get 3 personalized sessions to show you how to invest your money, different ways to invest and change your money mindset. Tune into the Manifest on Purpose podcast. Get your vitamins at intellectualpower.net. Remember, it is free of all of these agents. Again, celebrating Nicholas Brooklyn. And lastly, we have King Simon, who will be on the show on Wednesday with Lloyd, talking about his ancestral tribute to Baba Dick Gregory in October 13th. So y'all, tune in. As always, I love working with y'all. I love teaching. I love the comments. I love the interaction. And Lloyd will be back on Wednesday. And I will see you all when he gets back. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me on Instagram or just hit me up on my website. But for the meantime, have a great night. And Lloyd will be back with you on Wednesday.